Okay, so enter Mr. Beast, and this guy is obviously one of the greatest YouTubers of all time, but one thing I would have never really expected to work for him is the candy brand, where I thought that was going to be a flash in the pan kind of thing, but now he's on track to do over $1 billion in sales within just the next 4 months, and really looking at it, I think he has one big advantage over Hershey that's really working for him. Mr. Beast getting into food successfully took a couple tries, where his first attempt was Mr. Beast Burger, which we work with company Virtual Dining Concepts to create these ghost kitchens across the country, and it was working initially where they sold 1 million burgers in the first 3 months, but then they ended up not having quality control, so he pulled back from the deal and ended up in a $100 million lawsuit. So after the Beast Burgers went bad, he decided to get into the snack business instead with Feastables, and he actually had a huge success early on, selling $1 million worth of them in the first 72 hours. He blew it up with his Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory video, which got 363 million views on YouTube, and now the brand's really blown up. It was reported they did $250 million in sales in 2024, and this year's looking about 400 to 500 million. Mr. Beast definitely has a long way to go until he's hitting Hershey levels where they do $11 billion in revenue a year. All of his products that are competing directly with Hershey's and in the same stores are actually outperforming or tying with Hershey's, and I think there's one big reason to it, and it actually relates to the federal government regulation. Explaining this in the 70s and 80s, cereal was even worse for you than it is today, where it contained about 55 to 65% sugar, and one bowl of cereal had about 22 grams of sugar in it, so it was actually more sugar than a scoop of Haagen-Dazs ice cream. So because of that, the government threatened to step in, saying they're going to ban the marketing of sugary products to children, which really would impact the cereal industry because they were mainly promoting to kids and they always had mascots on the box. So to get around that, the snack food industry got together and said they're going to self-regulate instead of having the government do it for them. So they agreed that when it came to products that had too much sugar in it, they weren't going to market them for kids, not having kids in the advertising and not putting them on kids programming. So at the same time, the cereal industry responded by reducing the amount of cereal about 35% in all their products. And this was also very big in impacting the chocolate industry as well, because if you look at the ads, there's always a parent with a kid having a chocolate bar as part of that self-regulation. And also at the same time, they never really played that many ads on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, but they'd focus on adult networks instead. And even though it is self-regulation, the industry is actually still really strict on it, and that's why Dunkaroos got discontinued in 2012, because the team behind it was marketing directly towards kids with a fun mascot, only being on TV networks, and they clearly made it a kid's product despite being really unhealthy. That's why they actually got rid of the kangaroo when they brought it back a decade later. Also, outside of regulation, it's harder for companies to actually market to kids these days because there aren't actually as many cable networks that kids are watching. They're doing streaming more where they don't have as many ads. So because that, networks like Nickelodeon are actually down 86% on ads in just the last 10 years. This is really Mr. Beast's big advantage because he's making content. It doesn't actually count as an ad. So because of that, he really does not have to worry about those kind of self-regulations the other companies do when marketing to kids. And also at the same time, while these companies can't even figure out how to market to kids these days, Mr. Beast basically has every kid in the country following him already. I have spoken to Mr. Beast before. He is actually a really nice dude, and even though I'm a little bit more of a Hershey man, I think he does have a good product that is going to become $1 billion company. With that, I'm Charles Pearl. Subscribe to learn something.